everyone, and welcome to the News Network. This is the first episode. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm here with my very first guest, a very special guest. I'll allow him to introduce himself.
Hello everybody, it's me, Sheepie Sheepington, director of Quinlan's Adventure in Space and Jurassic Man, available now on 4K Blu-ray and Laserdisc.
We are going to talk about his next film that he's going to make. Thor Love and Thunder, which I thought Taika Waititi was directing that.
Yes, that's a typo actually. It's not Taika Waititi directing it. It is me, Sheepie Sheepington, who will be directing the film Thor Love and Thunder.
Interesting. What can you tell us about the film?
It's going to be fantastic. Superhero movies have really been in a slump lately, and I think we're going to breathe new life into the series, and we're also going to liberate the oppressed people of the nation generally with a nice progressive film.
Liberate them from what?
We're going to liberate them from oppression and...
Whose oppression?
The audiences. The audiences... Look, film audiences are stupid. They want to watch... They want to watch stupid movies about stupid things, but we're going to enlighten them. We're making a progressive film. We're making a forward-thinking film. We're going to have a lot of ethnic faces in our movies. We're going to have people of color. We're going to have women. There's going to be women in a movie. We've hardly ever done that in America. I don't know if have we had a film with females in it in America? Can you name one?
Alien.
I haven't seen it. Name another one.
Star Wars. The original trilogy. Well, anyway, this movie's going to be starring Thor. I'm assuming Chris Hemsworth will return in that role.
Yes, we've got...
It takes place after Endgame. Can you tell us anything about what he's going to be doing in this film?
Yes, this movie is going to be starring Thor. Thor, played, of course, by Chris Hemsworth. It was great to work with Chris. Chrissy is what we call him on set. He's a good, close, personal friend of mine. It's going to be fantastic. In this movie, he's going to learn the importance of relationships and how to participate truly in a relationship in the 21st century, in current year.
Okay, that's interesting. Can you give us any details about the plot?
Yes. So the movie opens with a nice great tracking shot. Okay, we pan up from the floor to see Thor, who is fat again. We see Thor, and he's sitting on the couch and he's playing Fortnite, and this is the first twist of the movie. We hit you with it nice and early. We hit you with the first twist. It looks like he's playing Fortnite, but actually he's playing Five Night, because this is a movie of the future. This is the movie of the next generation. This is progress. This is the most progressive film to come out in Hollywood, and so we thought Fortnite isn't enough. We need Five Night. So we've got Thor playing Five Night in the movie, and I think really all of the fans are really going to enjoy that.
Okay. What else is gonna happen in the film?
All right, so as Thor's there playing Five Night, that's when I'm pleased to announce, and I have gotten clearance from the studio to share this with you today. I am pleased to announce the return of Jane Foster to the MCU. This is going to be fantastic. We haven't seen her since Thor, one of the movies. We haven't seen her since one of the Thor movies. And this is going to be better than the other Thor movies because I'm directing it.
All right then. What should people expect to see in your film? What can they take away after seeing this film? What's the message?
The message is that women are strong and women are powerful, and that men need to step aside sometimes to let women take charge. That's why I'm directing this film, so that I can tell men to step aside and let women take charge.
Interesting theory, I guess. For the people who want to spoil this film, Can you go into any more detail about the plot? For the leakers.
Just for the leakers. Now I've got a great respect for leakers, and I don't consider these to be spoilers. You're getting it first here, folks, okay? The trailer is going to release soon, and I'm just going to briefly explain the general synopsis of the plot. So as Thor is sitting there playing the hit video game Five Night, Jane Foster is going to enter the room, and we're going to finally get to see their relationship taken to the next level on the big screen. And so, as the two of them are sitting there together, enjoying the video game Five Night, there comes a knock at the door, and they wonder who this could be. So Thor gets up to go see who's honking at the door, and he opens it, and it's the Valkyrie or whatever, that one, the one that's played by the Men in Black girl, the girl who was in the movie from the last one. And so she's going to come in, and Thor's going to say, "What are you doing here?" And she's going to go, "Just you wait, I'll show you." And she's going to walk through the door, and she's going to begin taking her top off, just button by button, slowly undressing for the camera. And the camera is going to just pan in, and we're going to get close-up shots on all the goods. We call these in the industry, we call them tits. We're going to get nice close-ups of the tits. The bra will come off. Her pants will come off. She will be fully nude within the next 30 seconds of the film. And this is where the plot really kicks off. This is the central plot of the movie, the central theme of the movie. The lesson that you need to come away with is the cucking of Thor, essentially. So Thor is going to watch in horror as his girlfriend Jane Foster has graphic lesbian sex with Valkyrie in the middle of their living room, while he's desperately trying to win a game of Five Night.
So you're making a porno?
I'm making an art piece. I'm making a work of art here, and we're going to truly embrace the expression that these actresses can display on screen when fully nude and having sex with one another for my amusement.
Are there any other characters involved in this film?
Yes, I'm aiming to make this the most ambitious crossover in MCU history. We saw me as part of the MCU team, as the leading creative force behind the MCU. We saw a lot of success with films such as the original Avengers movie, where you had multiple heroes crossing over, teaming up to defeat evil. And then also in Infinity War, where you saw multiple people, heroes and other people teaming up, and they're fighting. And I thought,
only now they're fucking.
Exactly. I said, why don't we have a movie where the girls get together and just have sex? It's never been done before in the history of cinema, and I think we're ready to make the next big leap into the future here.
Interesting. So, is anyone else going to be involved in this lesbian sex scene?
Yes, I apologize for getting off track there. It's just so hard not to get caught up in just how wonderful this movie truly is. And so, just to explain a little bit about how we really came to terms with this. I was on set directing, and we do have multiple great stars present. We've got of course we got Jane Foster, we've got Valkyrie, we've got Hela. We brought Hela back. Hela's back from the dead. We got Darcy, of course, is going to make a huge appearance. We've got fresh off of WandaVision. We've got the main character. I don't remember what her name is, but I was shooting this film. I was on set, and this man walked in, and he kind of interrupted things. But me, as I'm a humble guy, I just politely told him to fuck off. And so and he came in and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. And then he said, "Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you Sheepie Sheepington, the director of Quinlan's Adventure in Space and Jurassic Man, available now on 4K Blu-ray and Laserdisc?" I said, "Yes, actually, I am. That is me." And he said, "Oh, wow," and I recognized him pretty quickly. He said, "Oh, wow, I'm such a big fan. I'm such a huge fan of all your work." And I loved you in Quinlan's Adventure in Space. I said, hey, you too. I loved your movies. This was Martin Scorsese, of course, who came into the room. And I said, Marty, I loved your movies too. I loved your movie. It was. There's so many. There's so many. Where do I start? And he said, look, I'm so sorry, Sheepie Sheepington, my the director of Quinlan's Adventure in Space and Jurassic Man, available now on 4K Blu-ray and Laserdisc. I'm so sorry for interrupting your scene here. Let me take you out. Let me buy you a tobacco juice. I said, you know what, Marty, for you, let's go out and let's get it done. So we headed downtown, and we headed to a nice place that I know. I'm good friends with the owner. He thinks I'm really cool, and so we're sitting there. We're having a couple drinks. We split a carton of watermelon juice, and he said, I hate Marvel movies and I hate Marvel movies and everyone who watches them. I hope every one of them dies. I hope every one of them dies violently. I will soon have my revenge. I have a sharp ice pick and I'm coming. And I said, me too, Marty. I couldn't relate more. And he said, well, hold on. I hate all Marvel movies, except I really love yours, Sheepie Sheepington, director of Quinlan's Adventure in Space and Jurassic Man, available now on 4K Blu-ray and Laserdisc.
That's quite a mouthful.
He's a huge fan. Martin Scorsese's a huge fan, and he's a great guy. And so
he promotes you like you would. You're such close friends.
Yes, and I promote him. Go out and watch his movie.
On 4K Blu-ray.
Yes.
Record player.
Yes, on 4K Blu-ray, and it's also, you can also get it on vinyl. I loved, Martin Scorsese's such a good director. You have a normal movie, it's good, it's enjoyable, and then you have 2 minutes of nothing but topless women. And that's really how you take a movie from a 4 to a perfect 10. And so he was a massive inspiration, but he said to me, I hate all Marvel movies, except I really love yours, Sheepie Sheepington. And I said, hey, I know what that's like, man, as I sipped on my tobacco juice gracefully. And he said, I can't wait to see your upcoming film, Thor: Love and Thunder, in theaters soon. And so I'm really glad to announce that we've got the endorsement from Martin Scorsese, and just such he's been such an inspiration on this project. And I think you're really going to see that play out. If you're a fan of movies, of but that's why I'm making superhero movies, but with more lesbians.
So, one more time, can you elaborate on some of the characters that are going to appear in your lesbian sex fest of a film?
That's an excellent question. I'm glad that you asked. And so, my ultimate goal here with making the film was really the high point. The high point of the MCU is watching the film Endgame. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that.
I think that's a pretty agreeable assertion. And everybody loves the massive fight scene at the end of Endgame. You got portals coming out and people running through, and just lots of nice sweaty women. And I thought, I'm going to make a film that is Endgame with lesbians. And so they're just going to be flowing out of the air vents and through the windows. And we've got the full cast here. We've got all these wonderful, strong female characters. We've got Gamora and Nebula here, of course. We've got Mantis. She's making a special appearance here. We've got Star-Lord's mother.
Will she be dying of cancer in the film?
We thought it was really progressive to bring on a representative of cancer culture. She will have no hair.
Okay.
We're truly the human condition. Aren't we all dying? And I think that's the thing that we'll all be that our viewers will be taking away as they're watching this is, wow, I'm dying.
Probably right.
But I think it's really best for us if we can embrace the fact that some people have cancer. They're staring death in the face and they say, I still choose to have lesbian sex and cuck Thor. And so as you have dozens on dozens of women, just about every female you've seen from the MCU thus far is going to be included here. I'm making it the most massive crossover. The doorbell rings and knock knock, who is it? It's Gwyneth Paltrow. She's here to have sex with Thor's wife.
And Thor's mother.
and Thor's mother while he cries in the corner.
So that's what he'll be doing while this is happening.
Yes, throughout the entire movie we will occasionally, we don't want to overkill anything here. We don't want too much of anything except for lesbian sex. Which, can you really have too much lesbian sex in a film? We are going to be repeatedly cutting back to Thor. He will be crying. He will be watching in terror as his girlfriend of many years, Jane Foster, is having sex with multiple women. Often multiple women at once. And it will be very graphic. There will be several close-ups. There will be a lot of fisting. It's going to be really a great time for everybody except for Thor.
So I noticed from the cast list that Tom Hiddleston is going to be in this film. Will he be reprising his role as Loki?
Of course he will. What's a Thor movie without Loki?
In this latest iteration, we saw Loki in another universe. How does he make it back to this one?
He makes it back to this universe because part of it is that he senses the distress of his dear friend. You recall in the Loki TV series, they have a way to detect apocalypses. Well, this is essentially
a Lizpocalypse.
A Lizpocalypse, exactly.
So he comes to the rescue.
Yes, he does. He absolutely comes to the rescue. So, Thor is he's distraught. He's not sure how to handle this massive influx of naked women having sex with his girlfriend in front of him. And all he truly wanted was to live a nice, normal, healthy lifestyle and marry the woman of his dreams and be a happy man. But instead, his girlfriend will have sex with women, several of them, right in front of him while he cries. And luckily for him, as anybody who knows Thor knows, he loves snakes. And so he sees a snake on the floor, and in this moment of fragility and desperation, he wants nothing but comfort. The comfort he used to depend on his girlfriend, which she is now receiving from upwards of 5 women at once. And he reaches out and he picks up the snake because he loves snakes. And then it transforms into Loki. Bah, it's me! And it's because it was Loki. He goes, bah, it's me! And then he rapes him. And so the first act of the movie is mostly just Jane Foster having sex with a couple of women. Having nice, hot, steamy lesbian sex with a couple of women for the audience to enjoy. Things really kick into high gear in the second act as Thor's mother makes an appearance with a huge cast of other women present here to, of course, have sex with Thor's girlfriend directly in front of him while he cries. And we can only raise the stakes from there, and that is why we decided it's best if Loki just rapes Thor repeatedly, while Thor cries and sobs and begs for help and mercy as he gets to watch his girlfriend be just banged and fucked maliciously by dozens of horny women, and if Thor is at the same time being pegged in the ass.
Doesn't it seem a little disrespectful to Thor?
I think it's about time that we recognize that it's time for Thor to advance and to really enter this century, enter into the 21st century, enter into the current year.
Enter into his brother.
Be entered by his brother, generally. He's going to enter into this polyamorous cuck life relationship. He will be cuckolded because it's what's right. It's about the expression of the women, and it's about this is really to teach the impressionable girls in the audience, you don't need a man to swoop in and save the day. You just need a woman to have sex with you in front of your man.
What will the runtime be for this film?
Of course, there was a lot of hype going into Endgame because it was the longest MCU movie. But that was Phase 3. We're moving into Phase 4. We're progressing into the future. That's the main takeaway here. From this film is progress. We need to move forward. And so that is why this movie will be 4 hours long. It will be 4 hours of graphic lesbian sex. A lot of tits, a lot of ass on screen while Thor cries.
Well, there are future MCU movies planned. Where does Thor go from here?
I think that's a fantastic question, and I'm actually going to twofold here. Where is Thor going, and where has Thor been? From this point forward, I think with the success of this, we've already been greenlit for a sequel, so we will have another movie in the Thor Cuckery saga. As we see more MCU movies and we see more female characters introduced, they have to have sex with Thor's girlfriend, naturally. So I intend to make this an annual franchise, an update each year where we can just add to more women having sex with Thor's wife. They will be married to make it official. To make the cuckery official, they will be married at the end of the film. I hope that doesn't come as too big a spoiler to anybody, but I think we've all seen it coming since Thor, one of the earlier ones. I'm a huge fan, and so once they're formally married, that's when the cuckery can truly begin, and that's why we need these sequels. But the bigger question is, where has Thor been? Where's Thor been all these years? We've seen the Thor movies, but we haven't liked any of them. They're all really boring. There aren't enough naked females. And so I'm going to, once I'm through filming this film, which is going to be fantastic and is in theaters soon, we're going to begin remaking the earlier Thor movies. And so my next film will be Thor Raging Cock. It'll be a retelling of Thor Ragnarok, but with added lesbians. And as a prequel at this point, at this point, Thor is still turned on by the naked women having sex with his wife. But after enough, the sheer amount of working time spent watching women have sex with his wife is really going to break him down, and he'll no longer be satisfied or thrilled by it. But we want to capture some of that, the early juvenile thrill of watching lesbians have sex on camera for my amusement.
How many other Marvel films will you be directing after this one?
Well, of course, we're going to have the regular annual Thor Cuckery Saga franchise, which is going to be fantastic and include several lesbians and multiple tits. I think that's going to be a huge success. In addition to that, I want to announce as well that we will be, and I want to make this very clear to the Chinese audience. Wo ai chin, wo ai gang chen zuyi, wo ko wang song nizan shi wo da. I am greatly looking forward to the filming of a Chinese-friendly version of Thor: Love and Thunder. In China, they're not as open to some of the more, as we would say in the U.S., progressive messaging. They don't like, say, black people in their movies or gay people in their movies. So we're going to be editing out all gay people and black people. We're going to be reshooting the movie with an all-Chinese cast, okay? An all-Chinese cast, and the lesbian sex will all be implied, and we will instead, the movie will actually be 7.5 to 8 hours long, and we will have individual displays of full female nudity from each of the cast members. They will each have roughly 5 minutes devoted to them, so it will be an epic viewing experience, to say the least. And I can't wait for my Chinese audience to see that. And I just want to express just one more time for the fans. Wo ai chin, wo ai gong chan zuyi. Thank you.
What do you feel your legacy will be like after this film comes out? What do you want people to think about Sheepie Sheepington?
I want people to think. I want people to know that Sheepie Sheepington changed the game forever. At the time, they will, in retrospect, they'll say, wow, before Sheepie Sheepington came along, we didn't have any superhero movies that involved 3.5 to 4 hours of graphic lesbian sex. In fact, we didn't have any feature-length films in theaters across the world that involved multiple hours of graphic lesbian sex. and they're going to say, "Thank you, Sheepie Sheepington, director of Quinlan's Adventure in Space and Jurassic Man, available now on 4K Blu-ray and DVD and Laserdisc. Thank you for giving me lesbians."
Alright, well, I think that's all the questions we have for now. If there's anything else you'd like to say in closing, feel free.
I just want to thank you again for having me on the show. And I just, in closing, want to say, a few years ago, when I was arrested for conspiracy to commit murder, I had time to think about just how broken our justice system truly is. An innocent man can sit in jail for 3, almost 4 minutes before I bail myself out and walk free because I'm rich. And truly, that reminds me just that women are in a prison today. They're in a prison every day, and we need movies like mine to liberate women. I don't think a woman can truly be liberated until she's standing naked and showing me her tits on camera for my amusement. And as true as that is, we also have to pay respect to the voice actresses who make so much of our entertainment possible. That's why I'm pleased to announce that we are going to have an ambitious crossover with Studio Ghibli, and we're going to make a hentai adaptation of Thor: Love and Thunder, which will be coming out exclusively in Japan next year.
Well, thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing your valuable insight. That's gonna wrap up this episode of the News Network.